We live, baby. We turned up for the one time. Happy Sunday. I am the voice of the South. We turned up for the one time, y'all. That's right. We lit. Cause I got a trick for your baby. It's gonna make you wanna pay me. Cause I got that trick that make you serious, make you wanna keep me driving crazy. Tonight I'm serving you every I'm gonna cater. If you like it ratchet, I could do it like I'm from Decatur. You already know what time it is, man. It's Weekly Talks with the voice of the South, Chris Smith. Only on the number one today's R&B and classic soul station, 98.7 Kiss FM. And tonight we have a very special guest representing New York as well as ATL, Georgia, baby. We got Monique Nikkole about to get ready to hop on the live real quick to talk about her red single. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard it multiple times on the radio station. We play it all the time. So, you know what I'm saying? Much love and shout out to her. Hey!
Hey! How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I can't complain. All is well.
Yes, all is well. That's what's up. So you've had a great Sunday so far?
I did, yes. It's been good. It's been productive.
Yes, that's what's up there. My favorite day actually out the week. So I just love, you know what I'm saying, vibing and actually getting stuff done. I feel like I'm the most productive yet most chill on Sundays. So it's my favorite day.
Yeah, it's got that vibe. Like I'm getting my work done, but at my own little pace, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So once again, like, you know, I appreciate you for hopping on the live with us tonight and, you know, talking about your musical adventure that you've been going through, and you've been doing some great things. Like I said, you know, we play your song all the time, you know, red bottles and lingerie, red bottles and lingerie. You turned up around here listening to it. So
thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the support. It's huge. Really, it's really huge. Just so much going on. I appreciate the love. So I want to say that first. And thanks for having me on. I really appreciate that. And the song is doing well, you know, coast to coast, getting a lot of love on it. So I'm hoping to visit you guys when y'all start some in studio interviews at some point. But
yes.
I'm out there and definitely perform the song for the people as well, because I'd like them to see the face behind the song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got to see that face for TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's meant for TV, not for radio. Okay, even though we got your song on the radio, your face ain't made for radio. So yeah, we definitely love to, you know what I'm saying, have you come out and, you know, perform and everything, and in studio interviews. To be announced on that, because, you know, we still dealing with this bipolar coronavirus stuff. So
I know it's like that everywhere. It's crazy having a single moving in this climate right now. It's hard. Like, I mean, it's great because it's moving, of course, but to actually get out there and reach out and touch the people is pretty difficult. So, you know, we do what we can in between time. This
okay.
is right on point. That's for sure.
For sure. Well, hey, you're getting it done. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it and talk about it, and you know, see what else you got going on. So ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's tuned in, check out the one and only R&B singer slash songwriter Monique Nikkole. Yes. She, you know, has her single out, Red Bottles and Lingerie. Make sure that you check her out. She's also an award-winning singer and songwriter. So that's major right there to be able to win an award. And something else that you guys may not know about her, she has served as a police officer, and she's retired after 23 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So thank you so much for your service with that. And we're going to talk about that as well. And yeah, for sure, for sure. So, you know, you have a very interesting background and story. So, like I said earlier, you know, appreciate you for coming on and talking to us about it. So, hopping into the music and the single Red Bottoms and Lingerie, what is the concept behind the song and how'd you come up with that concept?
Well, that song actually was picked for me by my manager, Michael Stemley. So it's a lot different from the other stuff that you have heard from me in the past, like my smooth jazz beginnings with Say Yes. And then
Yes.
thank your station for that too, because y'all were playing that up there as well when I first dropped that in 2015. And the song actually was written by Ray Lavender.
Okay.
And you know, produced by C. Scott and so Scott Cousins, and
Okay.
it was a lot different from what I have performed in the past. And I was up for the challenge, you know, to try something new. So I went for it and we did it. So that's pretty much the story behind it. Now, the reason why I connected to it, I like the topic of the red bottoms and the lingerie, and you know, women in red bottoms are like powerful. Like you walk different when you put on those shoes, you know. Whether you're in the bedroom with your lingerie on or in the boardroom, you know, doing your PowerPoint, you feel powerful when you wear those shoes. So, like for me, it took on a little bit of a different meaning as a boss, you know, when you put on your shoes. And then it's nice to be a boss in the bedroom too sometimes.
Yeah.
So I thought it was nice. I liked the concept, and it came together really well with the featured artist as well. We'll get around to how we got Lip on the record a little bit down the line, but yeah, that's pretty much the story behind the record.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome, and you know, it has that real catchy, classy type beat to it, and then you know, you just constantly saying red bottoms and lingerie. Like in today's society, you know, when you say you don't back, you know, in the 2000s, 90s, 80s, you would have to say all this complex, multi-syllabic type things in order to get people to jam to it. But nowadays, you can say the same thing over and over and over again. It's psychologically you just start saying it out of nowhere. So, you know, it's one of those songs where you just gonna just out of nowhere, red bottoms and lingerie, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the cool part about it. Now, as far as red bottoms and lingerie, you know, I'm listening to the wordplay that you got going on. Like, you know, you get teasing the man. So talk to us about that, Monique. What entices Monique to bring out the red bottoms and the lingerie?
Well, for me, it takes a lot of brains.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little deeper than just the physical.
Exactly.
So, you know, you could be fine and everything like that, but the biggest thing for me is the heart and the mind. So, you know, that's the turn on for me. So, yeah, you know, that's how you turn me on. Let's have a conversation about, you know, the stock market or,
exactly.
you know, real estate or, you know, something else, building something. Because, you know, then we could pull out the red bottoms and the lingerie, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what entices me. I'm kind of like beyond just the facade of, you know, people. You know what I mean? So, and that's not just like in male-female relationships, even in your circles as a female, like the people that you connect with, you want to be with somebody that can stimulate your mind. You want to surround yourself with people that can stimulate your mind. That's what it's about. You know, at the end of the day. So, yeah, it's a little boring, I know. When you put the two together, but like for me, what makes me tick is this and this.
Exactly, and see how far you can go mentally, because you're right, mental stimulation rules the nation. And do you feel like when it comes to love in today's society, and based upon just today's R&B and how it works, do you feel like we kind of refuse to scratch the surface, so to speak? Like, do you feel like we more so focus on the physical instead of getting below the surface and focus on that mental?
Yeah, I think this it's a lot superficial, but that's music.
Yeah.
That's Hollywood. That's what it is.
Mm.
With the music business in Hollywood, it's what you see first.
Mm.
It's very visual. So I'm not going to sit here and lie that it doesn't matter. Like the facade doesn't matter. But yeah, a lot of stuff is more superficial now than it was. And, it probably was always superficial, but in a different way now because things have changed a lot. Even like with myself, like this particular video is more sexy than other videos that I've done, let's say, for lack of a better description of it, because it's red bottoms and lingerie. So you're kind of like falling into like a movement that's happening, but not falling all the way over.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't want to fall in those red bottoms anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good look if you got the lingerie on and you fall and stuff. So
and when I say fall, meaning falling into where you fall to a point where now you're compromising integrity or compromising whatever it is that your limits are. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I meant.
Like, yeah, so basically if you want something, you really need to work for it, and you know what I'm saying, and you reap the benefits, and vice versa. Okay. And listening to your songs, you know what I'm saying, you can't compromise with Monique, fellas, you know what I'm saying. She like a hardworking man. That's what she said in the song. So she ain't gonna compromise. She ain't gonna fall over for you if you out here sitting on the couch just playing video games and stuff like that. So you better bring your A game. So yeah, that's what's up then. So Lil Flip, the legendary Lil Flip, is featured on the song. A perfect feature for it. Talk about that, Monique. What's the significance behind putting Lil Flip on the song, and how did you guys connect?
Well, it was quite a great debate. We did the record and we were like, oh, this is awesome. It came out good. We were happy with it. And we're like, oh, well, we need a rapper on here. And my manager was like, we need to get a female, and she need to put on her red bottoms and lingerie, and y'all both. And I'm like, know about that one. I said, that's dope. I said, but I think it would be better if we go like male, female. Really have a dialogue about what we're going to do like to each other, let's say, a little bit of a back and forth, and my brother was kind of like on the same page with me. So it was like a triangle happening where we were just discussing. And then, we went through a couple of females that we were considering. And then my manager was like, what about Little Flip? So I'm like, oh, okay. So he called his people and we sent him the song, and there you have it. And that's the backstory.
Oh wow, that's amazing, and it's perfect though. That masculine, feminine, like you said, the hot and the cold. You know what I'm saying? You got the coolness of a lady, and then the male comes in and brings that fire about what entices him about that red bottoms and lingerie, and that's really cool. So it sounds like this song within itself was like really a process. What was something that you say that you learned from making this song?
Oh wow. I learned a different style of singing and singing in a different place on my voice because I'm a soul singer. And like, if you look back into my catalog, like my Christmas album, I sing like, sing. So for me, it was a little different singing these shorter, choppy cadences, that's more of what's going on in contemporary R&B now. More than, note slides and, you know, all of this, the theatrics that I've been trained to do. So that was one of the things that I learned, that I sing in those areas of my voice. And for me, that was a challenge, like singing in those areas of my voice. So that's one of the things that I learned. The other thing was, I don't know if you saw the video. Like the video was like a major production. And I've done a lot of music videos, but not like this on this level. So it was, yeah, it was a lot different.
What would you say was different about it?
It had like a major film like company, lots of bells and whistles and toys and everything else, and it just was different. Like it was, the working environment was different. It was like a level up. So that experience was good.
Yeah.
And I never shot a video outside of New York. So we shot that in Houston. So usually, you know, I use the same people and, you know, I'm pulling from the resources that I'm used to pulling from. But, you know, I didn't have that. It was like going in blind and having to, you know, all right, I'm calling this one and management's calling this one. And we're trying to put all the pieces together in a place that is foreign. You know, it's a different state, not foreign out of the country, but I'm not from Houston. I don't know nothing about Houston. Like, I'm online asking this one, asking my girlfriend, like, I need a makeup artist, I need this. You know, you got to set up a whole support team outside of your city, you know. So, or you fly everybody to that city, and I'm not signed. So, we're not doing that, you know, because everything is budget. You know, so you got to try to make the best of your budget. So, yeah, it was a lot different. It was a lot different. Yeah, put a lot of time and a lot of resources into shooting it, and it bode well because it was MTV, BET, Music Choice, and everything in between. And, you know, and it's still moving. So you get what you put in.
Exactly.
Put in. So you want a quality product, you got to pay a quality price. You got to put the time in, like however you want to put it, you're going to have to, you get what you put in.
You're right about that.
And as you go through the evolution as an artist or anything that you do as a business, you got to keep growing and evolving. So each project should grow.
Right.
Should grow. You should build on top of the next project. So hopefully the next project, I'm going to learn something else. We're going to do it even bigger, better. You know, you want to just keep, you know, adding on, not subtracting, you know. So
exactly.
Yeah. So it's been quite a climb.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, since 2015, it's been quite a climb. You know, but I'm thankful. Like I have my family, which is always supportive, and I have like the best circle around me, you know, and that took time to build as well. Well, my family always got my back, you know,
exactly.
And like everyone else that came into the fold, you know, and God sends you the right people at the right time.
And exactly, you know, you can't really do everything on your own. A lot of things that we see, they're not done on their own. We may see that person and, you know, they may be like the face of the brand or the product, but there's a circle, there's a team, like you said, like your family and your manager, and just your manager giving you different ideas, you know, hey, let's work with Lil Flip, or, you know, let's work with this person, that person. It sounds like you were really like getting out of your comfort zone, so to speak. And so with you getting out of your, you know, comfort zone like that, I've been talking about manifestation a lot lately. Do you feel like there was, you know, starting at 2015 and just thinking about what was going through your mind as an artist, was there something in the back of your mind saying, hey, I need something that's a challenge to really show that I can do this, or I can really expand creatively? Was there something in your mind that kind of manifested all of this, getting out of your comfort zone?
Absolutely, because my personality anyway is always looking for another challenge. So, and I can't like, I get very uncomfortable when I'm just staying at a certain level. So I'm always looking for the next thing, the next thing. Like I just can't like function any other way. So, and then when it gets to the point where it becomes mundane, then I gotta go. But yeah, I think that from the time that I started in 2015, that the moment that's going on now and the moments that are coming definitely were manifested at that point.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I believe so, because like I was behind the scenes previously, you know, working my law enforcement and managing artists. And I owned the studios, and like I always had something else going on, you know, where I was doing music. And I'm also a concert promoter. So I was always working within the music industry, but behind the scenes. And in 2015, I decided to just bet on myself. And at that moment, that's when, you know, it was a pivotal change for me. And I'm just looking forward to just keep going, you know. That's
exactly.
what I look forward to.
And now you like being in the limelight, huh? Compared to being behind the scenes, huh? Or compared to it, which one would you say is better?
I love the stage and connecting with people. But y'all probably won't believe this, but I'm really an introvert, honestly. Yeah, like I'm really comfortable, like home. Like home is where the heart is all day. But you know, when I'm ready to go, it's time to go. But yeah, like if I could like do this thing and not have like the fame part, I would be cool with that, honestly. For real, because I love what I do. I love the music. If we could just let it just be music, that would be dope. That would be so dope.
At one point, it was all about the music.
yeah, but you know what? You have to get out there. You have to connect with people, which that's the part that I do like. But like, I don't have to have the fanfare. Like all the, you know, I'm actually pretty like simple. You know.
Do you feel like that's like something that's kind of abnormal nowadays? You know, being simple, because it's like, you know, with social media, with so much stuff going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's almost as if when you say something like that, like somebody, you know, from, you know, just from a perspective of somebody who's really into social media and stuff like that, they're like, you want to just be simple? Why you want to be that? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like that's something that's looked at as abnormal nowadays, to be simple?
I think it is. I think that there's so many things that are going on in this instant gratification social media world where there is a disconnect between what's really real and what's not. And like sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is just more. People can really connect to you without all the extra stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? Because people relate to real people. And no matter what, I don't care how far I go, I'm always that kid from Brooklyn. Period. It doesn't matter. It's great. Like, yeah, awards, all that stuff, and you know, all of that is awesome. But at the end of the day, I'm good. You know what I mean? So you gotta kind of like get to a point where you understand the difference between this stuff that's out there and what's really real. You know what I mean? And I try not to get myself caught up in that mix. That's not for me. It's not for me, because that's why a lot of people have identity issues. Because they see a lot of the stuff that's on their timeline and they feel that they have to be like this or be like that.
Right.
And no, just be you. Be you. You know what I mean? Be the fly you. Put it on, whatever. Wig it up, put the lashes on, whatever. Be you at the end of the day. Don't try to be anybody else but yourself. Because at the end of the day, you got to be good with you when you go home, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. And at some point, people are going to see you outside of social media. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's something that I have to be on and I have to do because that's how you get to disseminate information to everybody else in a broad spec. So yeah, you got to be on it. It's very necessary, but you know, it's how you use it.
Exactly. It's exactly how you use it. You know, and like you were saying, it's cool to have this. I mean, I feel like it's kind of cool to have this world, the social media world, where you can create who you want to be, but you don't want to get too caught up into it, like you said, you know, because you got to see that person in real life. So I just feel like it's best to just use this platform as a way to where, like, if you are portraying this image on Instagram, then use that as motivation to get like that in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what we really more so need to focus on. And so I want to talk about the origins of Monique Nikkole now. Brooklyn, you're talking about New York a lot. Shout out to New York for the
Brooklyn.
Okay, where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's up there. That's what's up. And just from the sounds of it, it sounds like you really love your city and you embrace your city. So talk about growing up in Brooklyn as somebody who is this talented singer and is surrounded by all of these talented people, where hip hop started, where a lot of different R&B artists came out of and did their thing. What was it like for you, Monique, growing up, and what led you into the singing world?
Well, it started a long time for me because my father was a professional singer and a lieutenant of the fire department. And he sang, and I just, from the time I was born, it was just music in the house. Then my brother was a DJ, still is. And then his entire crew was DJs, like, you know, Scratchy Toy DJs for Busta Rhymes and, you know, Dice. And I grew up with Kango, Kid from UTFO, Full Force. Like, we all came out of Brooklyn. You know, they were older than me, but I grew up watching them. You know, they grew up in my mother's basement. You know what I mean? Spinning, digging in the crate. So my musical influences came from my brothers as well as my dad. And I used to break dance. I used to pop. I used to rap. Like, I'd be in the lunchroom beating on the table, making beats and stuff. You know, so I always had music in my life, you know, and it was great to be able to have like that whole panel of DJs around me, which are still around me today. Like, those are still my brothers. Before I send any material anywhere to be mixed and mastered, I send it to my brothers. I put the DJ's ears on it. There's no better ears out there than DJ ears.
Facts.
So any artist that's on here, before you put a record out, you better send it to the DJs.
Exactly.
And they're going to get you right. And let me tell you about my brothers. They don't have no problems. They got no heart. I'm going to tell you right now, sis, this is whack. They would tell me in a minute. I don't have yes men around me. So, you know, that is what I grew up with. I had the tough love, but it was love. And they make sure that, you know, they keep me like this. You know, and they're my family too. You know, so that was a big part of me growing up was watching them, watching my brother rap. He was in one of the biggest like rap groups back in the days, QPSL. Like, they had all these different sound systems that would battle, you know, back and forth between Brooklyn and the Bronx. And, you know, it's just crazy back then. Like, I should write a book.
You should.
It was just crazy, like, growing up during that time. And, you know, my brother's 8 years older than me, so I was, like, really his baby sis, and I was up in Red Parrot. Like, I'm giving away my age. I mean, I was out there early. So that is a big part of what you hear from me when you listen to my music. You hear that. You're not only going to hear, like, you know, the Patty and the Stephanie Mills and the Celine Dion, and you're not going to just hear those. You're going to hear that other part. Like, you listen to my mixtape, which is hip hop, you're going to hear that. And the stuff that's coming soon too. Oh my God, I got an album that's dropping.
I can't wait.
This year, actually top of the year, and yeah, music. Brooklyn built me. I'm definitely Brooklyn built, and that'll never leave me no matter where I'm at. Like, I live out in the A now, not in Atlanta in the city, but I'm out in the suburb.
Right.
So, you know, hey, anybody you want to hear from Atlanta? What up? I don't know who's on because I can't see, but like, this is my city too here. So like, I'm down roots here and trying to learn about what out here that I can take into my music and into my being. You know, like, wherever I go, I try to soak something up from it, you know?
Okay.
And I haven't been out a lot, you know, just getting my family settled, you know, family woman, so I have to make sure everybody's straight.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
But now, you know, coming out to do some shows and stuff like that. So yeah. So now we're gonna see what influences the A has for me.
Exactly. But so far, you like the South. You rocking with the South.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the place to be, ain't it? You know, it's crazy. Like, I really feel like, as different as we are, like Southerners, and I wouldn't even say Northerners, just New Yorkers, period. Like, New Yorkers are just different from everybody, right?
Right.
I feel like New Yorkers and Southerners, low key, like, have no choice but to attract each other. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like opposites attract, because a lot of New Yorkers move to the Carolinas, you know, Georgia, Florida, and stuff like that. And, you know, you may have those moments where they may say, dang, why y'all like this down here? But deep down inside, y'all love that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, y'all love the Waffle House and everything.
Oh, yeah. Yo, you better know. Let me tell you something. I'm no stranger to the South. I used to be at Howard Homecomings, Virginia State, all up and down 95, down here hanging out too. So I'm actually no stranger to the neighborhood. That actually, and I lived out here back in 97. And what brought me back to New York was the job.
Right.
Retired from. Yeah, because, I mean, being able to work for Nassau County Police Department as a woman of color is a big deal. Like, it's not that many of us. And it was quite an experience. Like, it was good, you know. And then I made boss, made sergeant, made detective sergeant.
Exactly.
And I was number 5 in the county history in like 100 years to make that rank.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's God has blessed me, and now I'm back to whence I came, because I went back to New York for that job, and now I'm back in the A.
Back in the A. That's what's up there. And we're gonna talk more in detail about, you know, you as a police officer, things of that nature, because that's very deep, and that's something that we really need to speak on with you. I'm so glad that you're here with us, because we need to hear from a retired police officer's mouth about that. But you know, I want to get back more into the music side. You are behind the scenes, you know, managing and promoting for different artists. Can you tell us about a moment? Well, what was that experience like, you know, working behind the scenes, and tell us a story that really made you say, okay, I want to be out here in the forefront singing. I want to show that I can sing too.
Ooh, let me tell you, this is not a good story. But the last artist that I was managing was stealing from me.
Oh.
And he somehow, his house burnt down, whatever, in Florida. I let him move in. you know, with my family and found out he was stealing from me. At that point, I stopped managing. That was
Mm-hmm.
like, that was it for me because I felt like I was investing so much into somebody else's dream
Mm-hmm.
to make it happen. And I felt like sometimes I wanted it more than they wanted it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you late for studio session, you smoking, you know, it's just like
Mm-hmm.
artist management is like babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just real. It's just what it is. Um, and it's not a cakewalk. You know, especially depending on the genres that you're dealing with too. Like I was managing rappers and stuff like that, so it was a little bit different.
Right, right.
But and no slight to the rappers, I love y'all. But it's difficult, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, that's when I said, you know what, I'm done. And then later on, I said, you know what I'm taking to invest in somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to invest in myself. Let me bet on me.
Mm-hmm.
That was the pivotal moment.
Wow. And you say that's not a good story. That's actually a great story. You know, sometimes you just have to realize, hey, look, I deserve this more than this person right here. Not to be arrogant and nothing like that, but it's the truth. Like, why would I put my time in this studio time? That's money. You know what I'm saying? And promotion, that's money. So
Yeah.
you're wasting money on somebody who doesn't even want it when you know you got it yourself.
Right. You know, I'm shooting videos for you. I'm doing this. You wilding out. You drunk. You late. You like, nah, this is business. Let's get that straight. Music business.
Mm,
So you can't just do the music and be creative. It's a business.
mm,
So if you don't have your business together, I
mm,
don't have time for that.
mm,
I don't have time for that. So, you know, moving forward, having been a manager,
mm.
still currently a promoter, about to start doing concerts, and have done all of those things, I was able to manage myself for years up until like a year and a half ago when I got management.
Mm.
So now it helps you as an artist to know the back end.
Exactly. And I was going to actually ask you that too. So, but you've already answered that part too. So, yeah. So, with you being managed now, are you kind of critical or like particular when it comes to certain things that you're being managed about, being that you started, in the music business?
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is that like I've had other people that approach me about management and stuff like that
Yeah.
like but then when you get the right fit, it's a partnership.
Mm.
It's a partnership. It's not like if I just let the reins go and whatever. We like you manage me and I listen to you and we collaborate and we find the right answer. So
Mm.
it's more like a partnership. So I don't know
Mm.
if that answers your question,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it does. It does. So basically,
Yeah.
learning after being in the music business and learning the music business, you learn that partnership is more important than just management. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So
Okay.
it's like you're my manager. Yup. Gotta trust you to
Right.
be my eyes and my ears. But we both balance my career.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So you gotta have that open dialogue. It can't just be one way. When you
Mm.
choose the manager, that's something that you gotta kind of walk together with.
And you said that, the artist, was stealing from you. How did you overcome that trust, knowing that somebody was stealing from you and now, you having somebody manage you and stuff like that? Like, how did you overcome that obstacle?
It took a long time. Honestly, it took hmm, probably about 7 years.
Mm. Wow.
I
Yeah,
backed
that'll
up.
leave a mark on you.
I backed up for the entire industry for 7 years. I was done. I was done.
Wow.
I didn't want no parts of it, and that's just what it was at the time, you know. But then you start to get the itch again, and things just start to, once if something's for you, it's for you at the end of the day. Even if you take a hiatus, God already has it written. So my path is already written for me. So, you know, let's see how far this thing goes. You know what I mean? It was my calling to come back after those years. But I really had to take a cooling off period because, you know, I had that happen to me. In between, I was in a bad business venture with somebody else that stole money. Lost money there too. So these are the type of things that people don't really put out there. Like this business is ugly. Like, this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for softies. Like, you better have a strong back for this and a strong mind, because things will happen. I guarantee you it's going to happen. So, you know, and it's a loss, but it's a lesson at the same time. You know what I mean? So you know what to do and how to move it forward. You know
Exactly. I mean? Wow. That's amazing. Shout out to Brian K, man. He said powerful interview, and I that's exactly what I'm saying in the back of my mind. Like, you're really dropping gems and keeping it up front and real about this industry, because a lot of people see the glitz and the glams. They say, oh, wow, I wanted a part of that, but can you handle somebody stealing from you? Can you handle, you know, being managed, and can you handle this, that, and the third? You know, getting out of your comfort zone, leaving the New York City to go to somewhere completely foreign like Houston, Texas, you know, where you don't even see a subway anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like, it's totally different. So, you know, I'm glad that you know, mentioned that. So once those 7 years were up and you start back, where did you pick up at? Did you pick up with your Christmas album and things of that nature, or Say Yes? Where did you pick up at with the singing?
It was Say Yes. It was crazy. Michael Westbrook produced that. He's actually out here in Atlanta now, well, in Woodstock. But we had both suffered a loss with the same individual, and that's how we met. See, that's God.
Right.
We went through something, but we came out on top.
Right.
And that's how I met one of the most brilliant producers and pianists ever. And we kept in contact. And one of my high school buddies had a poem, and he brought it to me. And I was like, this is a poem. And he was like, I think it could be a song. And then I wrote 2 verses. He wrote a verse or whatever. We came up with a hook, and that was Say Yes. But Say Yes had like 3 different versions. And that was in 2014 is when things started to come back together. Earlier that year, we had put a studio in the house in Long Island, because that's where I was living in New York.
Right.
And we actually recorded, except for that song, we recorded that in my mother's living room, believe it or not, Brooklyn. And everything else we recorded out there in my house. That's that first part of my first catalog. So it started with Say Yes. That's where it started. And that song had went from like classic R&B, then changed to something else, and then wound up being smooth jazz.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it's like we cut it, then we cut it again, then we cut it again. And then, you know, I got Brandon Burrell to mix it, and he was a hip hop artist, which gave it a little, you know, just gave it that, put that little something on that in the mix. And it came to be. That was my first baby. That will always be my first baby. And that was like my introduction to the world, and that's where it started, right there. And from that time, we just kept going.
Exactly. You've been going up ever since. Different songs, different albums, things of that nature, and you are an award winner, right? So talk to us about that, being an award winner. How do you know a song is worthy of an award when you make the song, Monique? Or do you just make songs and you don't expect an award from it? Like they talk about that.
No, and no, I didn't expect that. I mean, I Twitter is how I found out, and I didn't know that I was nominated. It was one of the stations out in LA,
Mm.
and I was like, oh, okay. They gave me hottest new artist or like a couple of other categories, and like 2 years in a row. And I was like, wow, like you don't get to see everyone that the music touches sometimes.
Mm.
And but I don't do it for that.
Mm.
It's nice, it's wonderful to get rewards, but like no, to answer your question, do I look at a song and say, oh, this one's gonna win an award? Nah.
Mm-hmm.
No, nah, not at this point anyway. I would love to, get like huge awards one day and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's quite the motivation though.
Mm.
I just want to make good music.
Okay. Okay.
You make good music, everything else is gonna open up.
Okay. So
Yeah.
making good music, family, things of that nature. What else motivates Monique Nikkole?
Mm. Money.
Money,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like, I'm always thinking about like another business venture to just make more money. I believe in having multiple revenue streams. So my brain is constantly like on 10, thinking about, okay, what can I invest in? What can I do? Is this real estate market going to cool off? I'm looking at it. I think it's going to cool off like in another 10 months. Let me jump back in here. Let me do this, do that. Because, music is cool. It's great. But you should always have another hustle.
Mm.
So, yeah, that for me is big. Like, I'm always looking for like the next something.
Exactly. That's that New York state of mind, you know what I'm saying? Gotta hustle.
Gotta be looking for the come up.
Exactly. Gotta get that money. You gotta get that bag somehow, some way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just what it is. I don't mean to sound hollow, but money is important. Like you
It
need to
is.
live. You know what I mean? So, and not only that, you want to make sure, not that you should be leaving the kids tons and tons of money, because I don't know if I really believe in that either, because that could make kids lazy. Then they be waiting for you to die.
Right.
Then you be like on the next 48 or whatever. No.
Oh, man.
I'm just joking, but I'm
Right,
just
right,
saying,
right.
you got to instill a work ethic in your kids. That's pretty much what I'm saying. But
Right.
you also want to make sure that they're good. God forbid you close your eyes. Yeah. So.
Exactly. You are so right about that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the lovely Monique Nikkole right now. We're talking about her life as a singer, songwriter, music businesswoman, police officer, all types of different things. She's given a whole lot of jewels, so make sure that y'all glue your ears right now. She's definitely given us a lot of things that she has done over, the past few years and stuff, and she is an award winner. So she's doing a lot of great things. And with that being said, right now in today's R&B, where do you stand, Monique? And, explain your style and how you use your soulful style to be able to be different and stand out and not be like, all the other singers that are out right now.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed is that although I'm doing contemporary R&B, it still has my stamp. It still has my riffs, my ad libs to give it that, to still have my Monique on it. Mm. And that's the difference, because most contemporary R&B is it's almost, I don't want to say the same, because I don't mean it that way, but a lot of the riffs and the runs and the cadences are the same. You know, you don't. There's things you just don't really hear.
Mm.
The voices are different. The quality of the voices are different, but like the style of singing is kind of like pretty much the same. So although I would do a choppy cadence, it has to have something melodic coming on the back end because it's just a must for me. I have to have my stamp on it. So
Mm.
I think that's one of the things where it's contemporary R&B, but it also has that little bit of classic drop on it,
Mm.
you know, and that's my stamp.
So
So
you
I
can
think
never
that
go
would
wrong with that.
like, yeah, that would be like the best description for my contemporary R&B because you gonna hear a real vocal on there. You gonna get a little bit of church on the back end, just a little bit,
A little bit.
just. Mm.
Just so you can feel that Holy Spirit real quick, you know what I'm saying? Get that quick chill, you know.
Yeah, just a little something. I got, gotta give you a little vibrato, a little something, just
Mm.
something in there that like, okay, yeah, she mean business.
It means business.
So, yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, I rock with that. And you're a Grammy voting member as well. What is a Grammy voting member?
Whew. First of all, they put you through it. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Let me tell you, it took me a couple of years to get into being a voting member with the Grammys. It's a heavy vetting process, and it took a couple of years, and it means a lot because I get to vote your record in.
Hey, y'all, don't make her mad. Don't piss her off. You ain't getting that Grammy now. I'm just letting you know.
I mean, it's a very it is a great feeling to finally be part of the Recording Academy in that way.
Mm.
And I will also branch out and contribute more of my time, in my own chapter now, and possibly start mentoring when I have time, once things kind of balance out and I have the time. But it's a big deal. I mean, just to put it plain, I could say I like this record.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting it in there for consideration for a Grammy.
Oh, wow.
I like it. I'm putting it in there. Then it goes out to a vote to the members, and we take it from there. And then it's like 3 different rounds of voting. And you vote, all these different categories. And then at the end, you guys see who made it. But that's the voters. That's the voting members that are picking the record.
Oh, wow. That's big right there. Like, that's major leagues big to be a voting member, just voting like all the Grammys and stuff like that. So like that's super big. You might as well go ahead and just plug your song in there real quick. Hey, I didn't, I'm not the one who's saying put my song in there as, part of the, roundup, but hey, make sure you put my song in there. So that's really dope. That is awesome. And now we're gonna go to the big thing outside of the musical career, which you've done big, amazing things, but you've also done things out here in the community as well. From my understanding, you served 23 years and are retired as a Nassau County police officer, correct?
Well, I was a sergeant
Sergeant.
in the detective division, so I was a detective sergeant.
Detective sergeant, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's big. Like, what was your experience like as a detective sergeant? What do you do, or what did you do?
Well, detectives and bosses, after patrol gets a case and something happens, if it's a felony, we pick up the investigation. If it's of a serious nature, we pick up the investigation. So the detectives go out and we put the pieces together, kind of like what you see on TV. We're talking to people, we're pulling camera footage, we're out there, boots on the ground, trying to solve the case. Now, me as a supervisor, I'm supervising the investigation, making
Mm-hmm.
sure that, did you talk to this witness? Did you do this? Did you get your evidence in? Did you do this? When is the court date? You know, I'm the person that has to oversee the case and, you know, pretty much manage the detectives.
Wow.
Yeah, so each boss has a squad of detectives that they manage them and their cases. So, you know, you go in and you check and see, you follow the case. You
Wow.
make your suggestions, or maybe you want to check this, or maybe you might not want to do this. Well, you know, maybe you might want to do a photo pack on someone or whatever. Or I don't like this statement. Go get another statement. This statement's not going to hold water in court. So pretty much that's what you do as a supervisor. You know, you pretty much are out there, and if you're at a scene, you let them know what they need to do or don't need to do. A lot of times, I had an awesome squad,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't have to do a lot of hands-on with them.
Mm-hmm.
Very bright detectives. I mean, I'd like to say they were the best.
Mm-hmm.
So they made my job easy.
Okay.
They made my job easy, but I loved it because I love puzzles. And working in the detective division, I'm blessed that I was able to spend the last 4 years of my career there, which was
Wow.
a good way to close out because I learned a lot. A
Okay.
lot of different, there's so many things in the detective division. There's so many parts of the detective division. You have crime scene and, you know, rogues and you name it, robbery squad. It's just so, it's like a city within a city.
Wow.
In one division. Yeah, it's just so many places that you can go and learn and grow. So, and, you know, it keeps you sharp.
Yeah, definitely. And on top of that, you know, you did detective managing in New York. You know, that's a highly populated area. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. But it wasn't New York City. I worked in Nassau County.
Right.
So it's not as densely populated as the city.
Okay.
But we're busy. We are busy. Not as busy as NYPD though. Not as busy as them, you know, but yeah, we get our stuff out there, that's for sure.
So out of, you know, the years of, you know, you working in law enforcement, what would you say was something that stood out to you the most, and how has law enforcement changed from when you were in to now?
Well, I just retired in April 22nd this year. So I don't think much has changed since I left. I mean, before I left, they were doing police reform, and they did a big overhaul in bail reform in New York City. So those were big changes that were happening as I was separated from the job. So those are some of the things that I saw. I mean, we had some really bad, horrendous things that have happened that I'm sure we're all aware of that happen in other jurisdictions. And just know that the good cops hate bad cops at the end of the day. Nobody hates a dirty cop more than a good cop. So if that's like the question about changes, I guess that was like a huge change, but I was still on the job at that time when some of those incidents were happening, and still some of which that are continuing to happen as I've been retired. So, you know, that's my personal take on it. You know, you gotta serve the citizens, and you gotta be fair, and you gotta do your job that you're paid to do, and you gotta protect people. That's what you're there for. Otherwise, don't do it. Do something else.
Exactly.
Because you make the people that are good out there look bad. You make their job difficult. So just go somewhere else. Nobody needs you. You know?
And you know, we have been experiencing a lot, you know, especially with, you know, cameras and everything being around. We're noticing a lot of police brutality and You mentioned, good cops, bad cops, things of that nature. What are your thoughts about, you see when you see stuff like George Floyd, or you hear things about Breonna Taylor, and you working in law enforcement and you seeing these bad cops do this? How does that make you feel, and what can the good cops do about it? Because sometimes we don't really see hear, some of the good cops do anything towards the bad cops. It's like it's almost as if we almost see the bad cops all the time.
Yeah, well, that's because that's what, unfortunately, the hero cops and the good cops, unless you do something, nobody's thinking about you.
Mm.
So you're not gonna see, like, this is not something you're gonna see. You see it within your community, of course.
Mm.
The cops that that you see day to day,
Mm.
that are doing their job and that are treating you well. But the unfortunate part about it is nobody knows about that part of it. They only know about the negative stuff that's
Mm.
out there, and that's unfortunate.
Mm.
That's unfortunate because there's a lot more good than there is bad. I mean, I can attest to that because I've worked in the police department. So, and I never was put in a situation where I had to, like, involve myself with somebody that was dirty.
Mm.
So, like, I never had that happen to me personally.
Mm.
So, I'm thankful for that within my department, within my reach of the department, I didn't have to deal with that.
Mm.
Everybody was a class act that I dealt with. So, luckily for me, I had a different experience. But, for those that had to deal with that murder of George Floyd, and I'm still, it baffles me how nobody stepped in to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't tell me about no Monday morning quarterback with something like that. Like, it just, like, to anybody with sense knows that that's murder. It's just what it is.
Right.
I don't care, blue, black, white, orange, whatever, whether you're a cop, not, it doesn't matter. You're a human at the end of the day. We're all human. So for you not to do anything, of course, that's a problem.
Mm.
It's a problem. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Whether you're behind the shield or not, you can't allow that type of stuff to happen. And that's on a major, like, majorly egregious scale. But even the smaller stuff, you shouldn't allow that either.
Right.
So that's my little 2 cents.
Exactly. And I'm thinking about everything that you're saying, and it, it's so interesting because you're not only a black person in the law enforcement, you're also a woman. So it's almost like, you have to deal with this, on the day-to-day basis in law enforcement. So how did you manage that? How did you deal with that, knowing that you see, a vast majority of the people who are being killed are black, and, you still have to have a job that you have to do? How did that make you feel?
It's tough, because those people look like me at the end of the day. And then you could also understand, your family, your friends, and the community outrage because you're outraged too. Because at the end of the day, before any job, I'm a black female.
Right.
And a very outspoken one.
Right.
So, but where I found that was therapeutic and helpful for me is with my counterparts that might have a disconnect as to why this type of thing happens in communities where you have an uprising, when you have a police involved shooting, and you have, well, why are people behaving like this? Because it's the same people that are always being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So being in the police department, being a black female and having that perspective, you are able to now bring them into your world a little bit to have a better understanding of why people are so intense, why people are so angry.
Mm.
Not that they don't understand, but they really don't understand. Like I would say to, we would have these talks all the time. And, I'm speaking to a detective. He's Caucasian. I'm Black.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation that you have with your son before he leaves the house is a very different conversation that I would have with my son before he leaves the house.
Mm.
That's the reality. And when you have that conversation, because dialogue needs to be had in order to have understanding and in order to heal.
Mm.
And that was my duty, not only to uphold the law, serve the community, but serve the community from which I came. It's also to have an understanding of why we're dealing with things that we're dealing with, and understanding that it didn't just start today. It started many years ago. And that starts to click.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a difference, even if it's on a small scale. I mean, just who I came in contact with, this is the type of conversations that we have when we're breaking bread.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand? You have to have an understanding, and you have to understand that you have to have tolerance within these communities, and you have to understand that the language that's being spoken there, you have to understand the pain that's happening there. You have to readjust your approach to people. You're dealing with people, and when you're dealing with people in certain communities, but you was raised in a different community, you might not understand how you need to approach this community. You understand? So you have to, you have to be empathetic, but you have to be open. You have to be open to receive and understand what you're dealing with. So, during my tenure on the force, these are the conversations that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And it builds awareness around what's going on in our community. It brings awareness to why people say Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because they feel and we feel that we don't and we haven't in the past. So you have to get a level of understanding of where that slogan comes from. And it's not because it's attached to some radical this or attached to this radical this. And yes, you have a fringe that's radical in every movement.
Right.
Let's just keep it real. It's
right.
I don't care if it's Black Lives Matter or the Trumps, this and that, whatever.
Right.
I don't want to get into politics, but
Right.
also you always have a fringe of things that go rogue. That the movement ain't about that. That's a distraction. That's a distraction. So just giving a level of understanding, because a lot of times I think the message gets lost when they look at the small sect that goes rogue.
Wow.
They say, oh, see, they're just being a bunch of criminals. No, that's a distraction. Stay over here. This is what we're dealing with here. So we can have a level of understanding. When you go in and you can have that conversation and that dialogue, I think that helps to bring peace. And that's just what it's about. I don't think that we talk enough to the people that need to be talked to. I think there's a message that just needs to get out there. So, and that's how I lived my career. That was it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's very significant that you were able to do that and utilize your leadership in that way. Because there's this book called, I think it's Pedagogy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And, it pretty much just explains the exact same thing. It's like you don't really know what they're going through for why they're acting like this. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you really need to open up your perspective and realize that, there's a meaning behind this, and it is a distraction. So it's super duper important, in my opinion, to be able to have, someone like a Monique Nikkole to be in the leadership staff. And do you feel like they need to have more Black leaders in the law enforcement in order to give them give other police officers and detectives an understanding of, how to handle the I guess the minorities or the impoverished communities?
It helps, of course.
Mm.
It helps. Not only that, depending on the demographic that you serve, like within the community doesn't want to just see other people policing them. They want to see their own.
Mm.
So, yes, that's important. I remember, my early days when I started out as a police officer, and I'm working in this particular precinct, and the section that I was policing was people that looked like us. But that was the only one small section really of that precinct that had our demographic. So when I did work that side of the precinct and they saw me, it was like, yeah, she's here. And things tend to just calm down because you have like a sense of trust when you see your own sometime pull up. And not only that, your demeanor too is important. Like, the vibe that you give off with people as well. So yeah, I think that it does help. It does help to have a cultural mix within law enforcement. But that's, to me, I think you need that everywhere.
Right.
You need balance. Balance is important. It's very important.
We need to have balance and not defunding, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, all of this defunding stuff, I can't really agree with it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need the police sometimes.
You can't do that. Like, it's sometimes you just go too far. Yeah, let's do this. And then they don't have the resources when your kid falls in the pool, when you need somebody to come now get your kid out the pool. It just got real, right? So we can't not have police. We can't just let people run amok. There's somebody now hit your grandmother over the head, and now where's the police? Like, you can't have that. So we don't want to go to that extreme. You gotta, like I said, balance. Everything is balanced at the end of the day. How can we get better? You have to have those real conversations.
Real conversations. Yep. And progression comes from those. So
yeah,
that's totally real right there. That's real. Well, Monique, I really appreciate you for giving us those jewels about that, as well as, just the music industry, period, and I really, really want to, talk about that on another level, another time and everything. But I know you got stuff to do, and I know you got things to be and, things to see and stuff like that. But, just to wrap everything up, what else can we expect in the music, on the music side from Monique Nikkole? I know you said you got an album coming up at the top of the year and stuff like that. Yeah, talk about that.
Oh, I'm so excited. I was just out in NOLA stand up.
New Orleans, you heard me?
I see my manager on the check-in because I see that red shirt, but I can't read anything because of the light.
He says, is it Michael Stimley?
Yeah.
He says, dope interview, love it, with Four Flames. Yeah.
Thanks, partner. So my manager connected me to Black and Mild, who does like Drake and a few other people. And we just did a joint together. We're about to do one or two more. That is just completely crazy. It's fire. A whole different sound, like giving me that NOLA bounce type of song. And we're just putting together more songs like the one that you have playing on your station now. More upbeat, fun dance record. So that album will be dropping the turn of the year. I'm also working on my mixtape with my brother, and I can see the outline of him.
EPR 77.
Yeah. That's
DJ
my
Ice.
brother. That was the other one that was in the debate room about the rapper for Red Bottoms and Lingerie.
Right.
So I'm working on a project with him and that contingent DJs, those DJ panels, because we have the first volume dropped on SoundCloud 2 years ago, Straight from the Crates 1. Straight from the Crates 2 is coming out. So that mixtape is crazy. It's more DJ oriented, and it's a lot of fast music. Also,
Okay.
jazz project that I'm working on with contemporary jazz and jazz standards.
Okay.
And I'm about to record with the legendary Norman Connors out in LA.
Wow.
And I'm working on a single and writing a single with Keith Washington out in Vegas. So I have a lot going on right now. It's crazy. I'm trying to put together, all of this art to share with you guys, and and also sticking to my roots with my jazz and my R&B. So that project is going to be coming out as well, probably mid next year. So I'm giving a little something for the streets.
Yeah.
Little something for the club.
Little something for the club, little something for the, nice bars and, where they play the jazz and stuff like that. So, got the turtle, got the best of both worlds.
Exactly. We can take it, from the strip club to the arena, and everywhere in between, Exactly. So we got a little something for everybody.
Everybody can get some. You get some.
You get some. That's right.
Yeah, so we out here with it then.
Yeah. That's the wonderful thing about being independent. I can make whatever art I want to make. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Definitely being an independent artist is amazing. So yeah, like I said, keep us in touch and, keep us updated on everything. We will, definitely be linking up once we can get everything down packed in person.
Yeah.
We can set something up in person and, just send stuff our way, and, we'll do the same and keep you in rotation, keep you going, rocking with the vibe for sure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh yeah, always. And I know I always say this, you know what I'm saying? If you got to warm up your vocals real quick, go ahead and show some love and sing 98.7 Kiss FM.
Oh, okay. You're listening to 98.7 Kiss FM.
Oh, yeah. I love it. You definitely got that classical soul voice, without a doubt. I can hear you singing, with a cello behind you or something like that. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up then. So, but all right, Monique, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go and everything. I'm gonna post this and let everybody hear all these gems you drop, and we're gonna get back to it. All right.
All righty. Take care.
All right, you too. Peace and much love to you.
Likewise. God bless.
God bless. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have the one and only Monique Nikkole. Hope you all enjoyed the interview. An amazing interview at that. So we got much more coming up, once this is, uploaded and everything. So make sure that y'all stay tuned. Much love and appreciation to everybody who came in, showed love and support. Michael Stemley, shout out to DJ Ice, Tristan83, Brian K, everybody, you know what I'm saying, who came in and listened to this amazing interview. And go back and share this. Please make sure y'all share this. And, comment and show some love. We need people who are actually mentally inclined to be exposed. We need more of this, you know what I'm saying, and not the other stuff. So that's what we're doing around these parts. So, yeah, much love to Monique Nikkole. Once again, I am the voice of the South, Chris Smith. Make sure y'all catch me on Sundays from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., giving you those oh-so-good Sunday vibes. And also, make sure y'all catch me sometimes on the Night Kiss, 7 p.m. to midnight, when I'm in for Kim or the Nightbird. We're going to keep playing these red bottoms and lingeries, and, we're going to make it happen, babe. So, yeah, that's what it is. So, I'm going to get ready to sign out. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to stay safe, Keep it cool and keep it smooth, all right? Peace. 98.7 Kiss FM.